Hello there, happy spring! This morning I needed to run some errands around town, so I decided to take both my camera and my laptop with me and do two things. Number one, get as much footage of all the flowers that have been springing up around town as I can. And number two, go into a cafe and do some writing. Admittedly, I ended up capturing a lot more footage of ducks than of flowers, but I'm sure that I will get a lot more chances to get as many flowers as possible as spring progresses. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I'm an aspiring author currently working on the second book in my fantasy trilogy project site. I am working through the second draft of that book, and this morning I was working on chapter number 9, I think. I actually only started that chapter in the cafe this morning and I managed to finish it, which is very rare for me to sit down and write an entire chapter in one sitting. It was a very short chapter, but I'm still very proud of myself for just sitting down, writing the whole thing and just not dilly-dallying. The whole thing is done and now I can move on to chapter 10. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do much more writing today, unfortunately, but I've been really feeling like vlogging. Spring is my favorite season, so I really want to capture some of that. And I just don't have any dedicated time that I can dedicate like a whole weekend to just doing like a writing weekend vlog sort of scenario any time in the next few weeks. So I figured we'd just do something a little bit different, something a little bit less structured. And I just want to basically collect together moments throughout spring of me writing, but also me being outside, enjoying the sunshine. And there's a lot of things that I'm gonna have to do over the next few months that I don't want to be filming. But this is something that I do want to be filming, and even if it's not chronological in any way whatsoever, I just want to put together some of the good memories from spring, effectively. It did start raining in the time I sat down to film, so it's not very spring-like at the minute, but I hope that this video makes you feel cozy and that it makes you feel like going outside and enjoying the sunshine, and I will be seeing you next time the sun comes out. Hello there, I haven't checked in with you in a couple of days. It is officially May, which is exciting. I feel like May is like my favorite month of the year a lot of the time. It's my birthday, which is, helps. But it's also spring, but it's like peak of spring. There's flowers everywhere, everything's absolutely gorgeous. And there's 2 bank holidays in the month, which means like extra little time off. It's just a great month and I'm very happy that it's May. Of course, the question crops up of how did my writing go in the month of April, which we have just completed. And I'm really proud of myself because I set the goal of writing for 15 hours in April. I had a lot of stuff going on, so this was a nice, low, achievable goal, and I completed it. I was running a bit behind, but on the very last weekend of the month, I really sat myself down and I pulled myself together and I got a bunch of writing done and we did it. We wrote for 15 hours in April. I don't actually know where I started in April, but I think I've written maybe 5 chapters, which sounds about right for 15 hours. I'm pretty slow and some of them like require more work than others, but yeah. But I'm just really proud of like setting myself a goal and then actually achieving it. That hasn't happened in a while and I want to keep that momentum going, so I've decided that for the month of May I'm setting myself the goal of writing for 16 hours and we're gonna sort of like add to that slowly and see how far I can take this and still complete my goal. Other than the writing, I want to get some other bits done this weekend that are a little bit spring related. Last time I was in town, I got a couple of seeds. 1 second. So I got some radishes. I also got some basil. And then I got some mixed flowers that are supposed to be like good for bees. It's gonna be my first time actually growing flowers. I've only ever done like vegetables and herbs before. But I haven't actually had a chance to go and plant them yet. I was traveling towards the end of April, so even though I bought them beforehand, I didn't want to plant them right before leaving, just so that they wouldn't be by themselves. I'm really excited, especially the flower ones. Like, I think it's gonna be so nice to have some flowers out there to look at, and they're good for the environment, so that's a plus.
Like a tidal wave, a hurricane, like a thunderstorm, the pouring rain, it comes rolling in. Right away, oh, it hits you like a ton of lead. Oh yeah, it'll mess with your head. You won't know where to begin. Keep up, you fall behind. You lost your aim, can't clear your mind.
We're making muffins for the second time in 3 days. Little bit of context here, let me just get my muffin tray. Little bit of context, I had a bunch of rhubarb jam left over from the first time, because I haven't made this before. It was a bit of an experiment, and I want to use the rhubarb jam, so I'm making more muffins. But also, I have a second very exciting excuse to make a second batch, and that is that I am meeting my friends Malin and Anna tomorrow. If you don't know who that is, you're missing out. You should go check out their authortube channels. But I've never met Anna in person before, so she's come all the way over to the UK, and we're gonna hang out in London, and I'm so excited. And they're getting muffins, whether they like it or not. They don't have a choice in this. So I have a couple of pink ones left that I want to use up. 2 pink ones left. And then I thought, since we're opening a new box of these, that I would pick out some colors that they would like. So I think for Anna, definitely orange, because that's like her main color. And for Malin, I would like yellow. I don't have yellow, so I think we're gonna go purple. Okay, so let's do a couple of pink ones. Purple ones for Malin. And I guess while I spoon a bunch of dough into some muffin cups, I can also give you a little bit of a writing update. So I've been kind of struggling lately. I've been working on the same chapter for like over a week at this point, and I finished writing it, or like revising it, I guess. And I just realized that I hated it. And then I spent some time brainstorming a new version for it, and I'm so much happier with how that version is going, but I'm still feeling a bit like I'm struggling my way through it. Like the first half was okay, and now the second half I'm struggling with a lot more. But then like that chapter's not even that big a deal, but while I've been working on it, I've also been finding that I'm less and less happy with the previous chapters. And it's not like I've gone back and read them. This is just me basing it off my own memory of those chapters. But I feel like I'm not doing a very good job with this book and with these revisions. Possibly I might have jumped into revisions a little bit early, like I've been feeling really unprepared as I try and make this book better. And I'm just constantly feeling like as I'm writing, I can't shake the feeling that the second book is just so much worse than the first one. So I've been thinking about how to tackle that because I've only really planned Act 1 anyway, and I was gonna take a break after Act 1 to work out what to do about the second act. And I've only got like maybe 4 or 5 chapters left in Act 1. So I think what I've decided that I want to do is force myself to finish that first act, because I don't even know if the previous chapters are actually bad or if that's just me feeling that way because the current chapter has been such a struggle. But when I do that, rather than go straight into the second act, I want to go back through the first act and just read it and sort of read it all in one go, as opposed to the way that I've been writing this year has been very much in bits and pieces. I've had to take a couple of breaks here and there, so my memory of the first few chapters is not actually there. Like, it's been such a long time since I wrote them. So I think just finishing those last few chapters in the first act and then going back through and figuring out what I want to do from there. And also, before I go into Act 2, I want to take a bit more time than I did for Act 1 to work on a revision plan and to really make sure that I know what I'm doing before I start revisions, because I've just been feeling so unprepared at the minute. And that's alright, we'll learn. Always figuring out a process, but I'm so excited for these muffins. Hello there, it is Sunday. It is absolutely gorgeous and sunny and beautiful outside. And my plan for this morning was to go into a cafe, pick up a drink to go, and then go to the park. And there's a couple of picnic benches out there, and I was just gonna sit there with my laptop. I carried my laptop all the way to the park and the cafe. And turns out there is a race going on today. The park is the finish line, and it was so crowded. So I've got a little iced matcha latte that I've just been carrying around town for no reason. Literally an hour walk was done today with my laptop in my backpack, and my laptop has not come out of my backpack. I've got my drink, I've also got a pastry that I'll be having later, and I want to do some writing. Ideally I wanted to do some writing at the park, but we're doing some writing at my desk. It's fine. I've been sort of having a look at what I have left, because I finished a chapter yesterday, which I think was chapter 15, but I've lost count. But I do know that I only have 2 chapters left in the outline until I finish Act 1. And next weekend is actually a bank holiday in the UK, so I've got Monday off. So I was thinking next weekend would be a really good time to do a dedicated brainstorming sort of weekend, reread the first act, start looking into the second act, that sort of thing. I find that with brainstorming it's really useful for me to be able to have a long chunk of dedicated time to immerse myself in the story, and next weekend will just be perfect for that. But in order to use next weekend for that, I would like to finish Act 1 by Friday. And there's 2 chapters left. So I think if I do one of those chapters today, then the other chapter I should be able to like chip away at from Monday to Friday. And then on Saturday we can do the brainstorming stuff. But that means that we're gonna hunker down today and write an entire chapter in one go. Wish me luck. This is so good.